Welcome back to the A4Q Testing Summit. With the increase in the adoption of Agile methods in software development projects, testers take on a position of guardian in the quality assurance in the development projects. In this session, we have CMTL member and information system consultant, Al Mehdi, sharing his insights on this valuable topic.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, and I'm so pleased to be my first invite to be at this special event for the jubilee of the IQBBA here in my home country, Morocco, and thank you all for that, and for the 25th and the 30th anniversary for ISTQB, and also the 20th anniversary for the A4Q Testing Summit. Okay. So the abstract has already been presented. So from those from you doesn't know these three standards. ISTQB is the standard regarding the software testing and qualification. There's IREB, the Requirement Engineering Board, and IQBBA, who is a board specialized in business analysis. So who am I? Who is this guy? Do you know him? I don't know. Okay, my name is El Mehdi Mimish. I said I'm a member of the CMTL, the Moroccan Committee of Software Testing. I'm also an information system consultant and the IQBBA trainer and COO of a company called QSE Conseil here in Morocco, specialized in software testing and qualification engineering. So let's begin with that. What does Agile software development mean to you? I'm going to let you 30 seconds so you can have your mind about that. You can answer via chat on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm seeing your chat. I'm curious to know, what does Agile software development mean to you? Like Uncle Sam here is showing up to all of you, also to me at the same time. Okay, we move forward. Agile in software development, it's more than just the methods, the frameworks. It's a way of life. It's a culture. It's a change of mind. This is why a group of authors in 2001, they have made the Agile Manifesto. This Agile Manifesto is based on 4 values and 12 principles. And then after the Agile Manifesto, we have the methods. But before the Agile Manifesto, we had one of the grandfathers of grandparents of Agile development is Kent Beck in 1999. He launched his methods, XP, external programming, who were at that time disruptive methods. We did introduce pair programming, testing-driven development, we introduced sprints, we introduced stories, builds with continuous integration, etc. So being agile in a software development is more than is based on you, on me, on all the people. It's a mindset, it's a culture, more than just the methods that we all know, like Kanban, XP, Safe for at scale, Scrum, less also for the part at scale, or fast, or the other also the methods that we all know. Here between us, A4Q Summit, we can do some quick wins. 1 week, 2 weeks, and we can have our own Agile method. We can call it A4Q Agile Method Summit 2022, 19 October. And we can have that. So being Agile is more for these 4 values being introduced, as all of you know, as the individuals and interactions over process and tools, working softwares over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. Regarding the writers of the Agile Manifesto, they said that those on the right, they have their values, but those who are in the left have more values. Okay, but does it mean that if we have if we interact with our colleagues, we should not implement process tools? Agile doesn't need tools. Agile doesn't need continuous integration. Like for example, Jira, X-Ray, Squash, all the tools that should give feedback to our clients. So yes, we should have individual and interaction with people in the project team, but we still should have a minimum of processes and tools. Even Agile is need more tools than ever. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Okay, with the frequent feedback increments, we're gonna give working software faster than the traditional methods, but it doesn't mean that we won't have documentation. We need documentation through stories, through specific technical documentation, and also and otherwise. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Okay. I am the client. You are my supplier. You won't have a contract. Okay, but the contract, software development contract between traditional methods and Agile method, they change because they are based on releases, not just based on the whole project. Responding to change over following a plan. Okay, it doesn't mean that we won't have a roadmap. Have a roadmap where is what is our vision? What is our goal for this project? So yes, we embrace change, we accept change, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna go ad hoc like CMMI now 2.0 so 2.0 with no planification, with no roadmap, with no nothing. So as we explained the 4 values, there is the classic, the Iron project triangle versus the Agile triangle. So the traditional approach, like waterfall or V-cycle, we have the scope, they are fixed because we can elicitate all requirements or business needs, comprehensive needs of the client and of the business needs, and we can develop on one shot and test in one shot all our projects. But the time to market and the resources, the cost can be estimated depending the scope. In Agile method, it's the opposite. Why? Because the scope is always estimated. We have a vision, we have a business goal, but we don't know where we want to go exactly. So we have a business goal. If like this, for example, we can take, for example, this bottle of water. As a client in Agile methods, okay, I need a bottle of water, but I say I need in green, in blue, have two sides, 3 sides, cylindric. My need is it's a bottle of water. All of my specification is gonna came sprint after sprint. We're gonna bring the representative of the business scope is gonna go elicitate requirement increment by increment. But the cost and the time to market, they are fixed. Why? When we say cost, it's the cost of the project, resource in terms of budgets, and also in terms of individuals. Like we're gonna see after that we have the power of 3, and also the whole team structure. That in agile projects we cannot have a team of 20, 30, 50 people in one squad. The squad is limited between 4 and 9 people, and also for time to market is also fixed. This is why we say the agile approach is on value-driven development. Each iteration, we should give feedback with value to the client, to the business stakeholders, rather than traditional approach. We are in planning-driven development, but at the end, we don't know if we're gonna match the business needs, the business need of the client or not. Okay, we've just said the agile team or the whole team approach. As you have all, I think, written in ISTQB Agile or Scrum Guide, or we're gonna go see after Lisa Crispin. I'm a fan of Lisa Crispin. If you are here in ISTQB, I think she's also it's one of the big the specialized expert woman in Agile. She's established in Canada. She's the one who invented the holistic testing. Okay, the agile team or the whole team approach, it's a team which is cross-functional, self-organized, relatively small, between 3 to 9 people, and ideally shares the same workspace. So the quality is not the affair of tester, the affair of the whole team. And the quality assurance tester, it takes a large place because he's the guardian at this quality assurance is established through time. And tester developers and business representatives work together in every step of the development process in order to ensure that the desired quality levels are achieved, and to hold daily stand-up meetings. Why? Because to work in team, a small team, we should also do dailies where we're gonna exchange what we have done with the last task, if we have some obstacles, and also if we have some constraints, and what we are going to do during the day. Sorry. Okay. Moving forward and at the same approach, as I said, Lisa Crispin and Lisa Crispin and Janet Gregory, in 2008, they have made a book called Agile Testing, or this new notion of power of three. Power of three is the small team, the quality is everyone, etc. This is what we have presented earlier. But the plus is the benefits of the whole team approach. The benefits of the whole team approach is to enhancing communication and collaboration within the team, enabling the various skill sets within the team to be leveraged to the benefit of the project, and making quality everyone's responsibility, not just for testers because they do testing, but as we all know, testing is an activity, it's a discipline. It's not just for testers, but at every level of testing, there is people who's gonna have resources. The stakeholders are gonna have this hat of testing to do their level tests. Okay, when we say agile software development, so early and frequent feedback, so they can have frequently operated increments. We should implement what we call continuous integration, because without continuous integration, we won't have agility, and we won't have also the frequent feedback. We need to have in at every time the same version of the product in the different environment. Versus the traditional approach is that we should wait until the end of the project so we can have our not increments but our product. Here there is some benefits that they are already marked in the ISTQB foundation level agile tester. As we have said minutes ago, that the benefits of the frequent feedback is to avoid requirement misunderstanding, which may not have been detected until later in the development cycle when they are more expensive to fix. Clarifying customer feature requests, making them available for customer use early. This way, the product better reflects what the customer wants, and then discovering via continuous integration, isolation, and resolving quality problems early. and also providing information to the Agile team regarding its productivity and ability to deliver, and at the end promoting consistent project momentum. Okay, as we have said, that in the traditional approach, we should wait at the end of the project so we can have our return of investment, the ROI, which is so late if we are in waterfall mode versus the agile approach. Every sprint we have, we can calculate what is our return of investment earlier in the project, beginning the first build sprint. This is why if you have now the burn-up chart regarding the objective of the release MMP, MVP, or others. That's why we have the return of investment measurable starting the first build sprints. Okay, up. I don't know if all of you know IQBBA, but a business analysis it was already been made by IQBBA and also by IABA, International Institute of Business Analysis. They have an approach, practically the same approach, but in agile software development, it's another thing. If we're gonna go back to IQBA, you're gonna find that we have the strategic level, maintaining process, business analysis process, developer requirements, and then the solution. It's so late for agility. This is why, at the moment we receive the business problem or the the business critical questions, we should conduct internal and external analysis, ideate, prototype, and test in a shorter time in order to have the business solution that can be a 90 project at the end. So to do that, to do the ideate, prototype, and testing in order to solve this business problem or this business critical question, there is something is called the design sprint. The design sprint. I'm sorry, the design sprint. What is the design sprint? The design sprint, it's a agile method done by Google in 2016. There is a book. If wanna Christmas, it's less. I think now is 3 months for Christmas. I think so. That you have a friend, your someone wanna give them a book. It's also a great book. It's called Sprint. You have also the link. You can go and also see the method. So Google Ventures is part of Alphabet, Google, who did implement 5-day design sprint methodology. It based on design thinking and on lean in order to solve business problems in a shorter time and with the implementing implicating all the team also all the team in the project. So as you can know, in order to begin a sprint, we should plan. Also, design sprint has its planning. It's called the set the stage. We conduct user research before we can begin the sprint. We should set up the sprint goal also, objective, recruit a sprint team. This sprint team should be a cross-functional sprint team between the top management and the middle management of the company. We need also to book a room and book the agenda for 5 days for these people. Imagine a CEO, we're gonna book his agenda for 5 days, and also to get sprint supplies like post-it, papers, pencils, board, etc., and to choose a good icebreaker like some jokes, a little bit of exercise. Also, it's gonna ice break. Why? Because we cannot find people they know each other just in the cafeteria or in the elevator. They didn't work together before. So the the 5 phases process. The first one in order after that we did the plan well our sprint. The first phase is understand the whole team came together. They're gonna discuss the business problem, and also the business needs and the business goals, and also do research for competitors, for also it's also helpful to have some senior management. They can come forward so they can more explain to the team. At the moment that they did their brainstorming, they share their knowledge about this business problem, because in the 5 design sprint we're gonna have some architects, we're gonna have CEOs, we're gonna have business analysts, we're gonna have testers, developers, architects, urbanists, etc., etc. So they should be together and share knowledge. At the end of this phase, we're gonna begin another. It's called sketching. Sketching is like simple paper, a pencil. We're gonna begin to ideate. We're gonna recall our imagination between all the information that have been given to us in the setting phase. You can do sketching. It's easy, just with paper. At the end of sketching, we're gonna begin to have some ideas, and those ideas should be refined. So can they be refined? We need that every participant go search more than the functional requirement. Look, they should look for all the constraints, all the quality requirements, also technology, and otherwise, and also that we can decide which idea would be more feasible. We're gonna do a lot of refinements until at the end we have one idea, so they can go to the next phase, prototype. We're gonna in the prototype phase, we don't need to go learn how to design do the design prototype to be an engineer. Even people who are not engineers, they can be implicated to participate in the implementation of the storyboard, or to write a usability testing case, etc. At the end of the prototype, we can do prototype just with the papers, with some stuff that we have at the room. At the end, we're gonna take this prototype and give it to the end users. Give it to the end users, so they can give us their feedback. After that, we have the feedback of the users. We're gonna also go to the senior management team outside the team of the design sprint, also so we can have their remarks. At the end, it's a go. If the idea is feasible, okay, there is two answers. If it's a no-go, it's a failure. This is why we say that the conclusion of the design sprint is 3 ways. It's an efficient failure, that the idea is not feasible. It didn't match the business need, the business goals, and we had bad return from end users. But it's okay, no problem. Why? Because we gain time. Imagine that we have began the project and we didn't do this sprint design. It will mean that we're gonna throw out the window billions or millions of dollars of euros. Success is two things: float success or epic win. Float success is that idea is good, but it still have some improvement to do. So this float success should the team design should improve it, so there can be an epic win. An epic win, it's a feasible idea, it's good. We had a good feedback from the end users doing the usability testing, and also from the senior management. Completing this phase, we have imagine that we have an idea feasible, a business solution feasible. So we are going to go to implementation. When we say implementation in Agile, it's not to implement the whole at once. We're gonna go in a Agile software development. So we're gonna start with an MVP, minimum viable product, and then go to an MMP, release version 1, release version 2, until that the software is gonna be downgraded. Okay. I think that all of you know what do a product owner, a scrum master, and the team. So the product owner is responsible of the product backlog and the acceptance criteria. Scrum master is responsible of establishing the Scrum framework, helping the team, and is accountable for the Scrum team's effectiveness. And he should facilitate also exploratory test sessions. Regarding the team, the dev team is a cross-functional team, self-organized. Like we said, we have developers, architects, QA testers, UX designers, etc. They are accountable for sprint backlog, and they can ask for help if they need. See the Scrum artifacts. I think that all of you know them well. Sprint, product increments, product backlog, and sprint backlog. And for the Scrum events, we have sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. So that's at the end of the sprint design, we have the solution. We should start our sprint. So we can start a sprint. What we had in the storyboard, it should be transformed in a story mapping using stories afterward in the product backlog. So a story is an atomic description of the feature. It should have its business priority, technical complexity. It should inside have functional and non-functional characteristic and acceptance criteria. All the functional and non-functional characteristic should be taken from the ISO fence 25010, when we have one functional attribute, quality attribute, and 7 non-functional quality attribute. So they call it IREB, quality requirements, from performance to portability. And also the story should be independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, size appropriately, and testable, so we can ensure the quality of the story. So that's we're gonna retrieve the storyboard, transform it to a story mapping. So the PO should do meetings and with the business stakeholders, and then afterwards they should prioritize the stories. They should do business prioritization based on Moscow, which must have, should have, could have, and wish to have. And then the product owner should come back to the team so they can identify the quality requirements and constraints in the storyboard here on the left. And also afterwards, depending on the cost and time to market, and the time to market, business value first, time to market, cost, and risk, the project team is going to divide the estimate scope in the release. It could be MVP, MMP, release 1. It depends on the business goal of each project. Afterward, the Scrum Master is going to implement the Scrum framework and assure Scrum training for the team and PO if necessary. And also the PO is going to initiate the product backlog. The dev team is going to initiate the technical architecture, install software development and tools, establishment of the technical environment for each test levels, implement CI/CD pipelines, initiate the test plan of the release, and also the test automation strategy, initiate the definition of ready, definition of done of test levels, and also test of the installation tools and processes on a mock project. So the dev team, QA, developers, architects, they work hand on hand in the planification release, so they can go to sprint 1. So we can, to complement the release planning, we should also do our first refinement of the product backlog. So we should refine the user stories that are ready by business priority. Assure that the user stories address both functional and non-functional characteristics, and add or validate the express criteria. And also we should both dev team and product owner agree on the time box of the sprint: 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Implement together definition of ready, definition of done of the project beside testing. So we will have definition of done of the story, definition of done of the sprint, and also definition of done of the release. And afterward, we're gonna validate the test plan of the release and the automation strategy. If it's all what I've said, it's okay. It's a go for the first build. Sprint will start the next day with the type, type testing, technical test, and event test process. They don't do not change. Just the approach, how we gonna implement testing is gonna change. So we're gonna implement all test design, implementation, execution, completion, and monitor control of each of the stories. I think that the test permit of Mycon, that we're gonna concentrate on the test level that are on the bottom of the pyramid. So we're gonna begin on the automation of the test units and test component. We're gonna be at the task level. It's a component requirements, and then we're gonna go at the solution requirements. We're gonna be at to automate the story level, API server layers, business rules, functional rules. At the end, we're gonna automate the feature level, which the workflow tests through UI, and then we're gonna still have manual testing for usability, etc. This is why in agility, thanks also to Lisa Crispin, the IQBBA, and all the stakeholders. So we have the agile test quadrants. For each quadrant, we know which approach we're gonna have. We're gonna automate. It's gonna be both automate manual or just specific tools. For all the unit level unit testing and component component testing is gonna be 100% automated. Or regarding the functional tests, prototype simulator is gonna be both automated and manual. Regarding usability testing, user acceptance testing, testing alpha and beta, it's 100% manual. Also for exploit testing, the third quarter and the fourth quarter is the tools. It's a specific tools to do security testing, performance testing, load testing, and security testing. So we can't not have all these quarters without this ICD. So one of the dev teams, likely the DevOps, is going to implement from the beginning, from the Spring Zero or the planification release, the automation integration pipelines, so we can have the artifact at the same level like the developer, and also build all the test, automated test. It can be unit test, it can functional test, or also performance and security automated tests. And also one of the approach, so testers, like you have you could have seen at the ISTQB foundation level is that we have the more likely simple techniques of testing, black box, white box experience, and also testers should communicate, etc. But also in Agile, we have this specific method that I like is the ATDD, Accepted Test Driven Development. It's an approach that at the beginning of the written of the user story, it's gonna we're gonna came and also implement earlier acceptance criteria is gonna match business need. So accept ATDD, it's a test first approach where it defines acceptance criteria and tests during the creation of user stories. So through two steps. The first one is to specify workshops. Is normally the product owner dev team is gonna refine a story. They're gonna validate. I'm gonna have new version. The second step is in the input we have the new version of the story, and then the tester and business representative, which if we are in Scrum is gonna be the product owner. We're gonna create acceptance criteria. There are tests that's gonna verify the story, and should also be refined by another person. So each acceptance criteria we will have a positive path and also a negative path like if you have a use case. The last part, it's the element regarding or requirement repository, test repository, test implementation execution, and reporting. In traditional cycles approaches or Agile, we should always enhance configuration management and traceability. So configuration management, like there is, I think that there is some of my colleagues that they're gonna know that is that configuration management is the element that's gonna have the integrity and the traceability of all of the artifacts. And in the agility, testers are always challenges so they can maintain their requirement repository, test repository. Why? Because we have a huge instability in requirements. So regarding the requirement repository, always have a template on intern. So if you don't have any templates, propose templates. So as you can see, we have a mind map over here that we can have the big picture of the project from the beginning. We can start doing it from the story mapping. We have the project version, the backlog version, the epic, the traceability with the feature, and also the story. So also when we do this work, we should also do risk analysis. Not to forget in Agile, it's also important. Why? In order so we can target more our testing efforts, identify risk through this method, and also mitigate and monitor risking. So this same approach is going to help you maintain your project, all of your projects. It means that if you are six teams, all of you are going to be industrialized. You won't be either one of you has the same method. You're gonna follow the same methods. It's of all the stories we can have push directly from Jira and do your structure. And at the same time, the same thing for the test repository. It just we have the stories at the right, at the test case at the right that had been added. We have the same structure, as you can see right here, that we have that our structure is the same, and also we have we have test case that are in BDD formats, behavior driven development. So our test case is traceable with nomenclature, is traceable also with via via the tool, and we have our test case with BDD with Gherkin given one then manually, and also in the implementation phase we should have templates so everyone can work at the same way and should be also organized and industrialized. This execution in Squash also the same, and also we should maintain traceability with our defects. As you can see, it's the same nomenclature that we take from the suit, and we do explain from the ticket why it's a bug. For the developers, don't waste a lot of time and enter inside the ticket, so he can have a lot of waste of time in order to just to understand which is the defect. And the end is the test repository. The test reporting, test reporting is gonna in for every tool. The same approach we can have it in Jira X-Ray, in Microfocus ILM, HPQC, Refer Test, in every test in every test management tool that we have the same approach. Sorry for taking more than the time that I've been ordered. Thank you all, and I'm here to see you. If you have questions, so I would be glad to answer them.
Thank you so much, Almedi, for your insights from business analysis to testing. We will give a moment for some questions. In the meantime, be sure to check out our social media channels where you can watch our streams and find our slides on Skills Club after the A4Q testing summit. We have no questions, so I thank you again, Almedi, for your insightful presentation.
Okay.
And we look forward to the next.
Sorry for taking a lot of time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.